nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. You got to nip it in the bud. Nip it, nip it.
All right, everybody, welcome to the program tonight. It is going to be a great night. And as usual, we are broadcasting from the Palatial Studios, towering 13 feet above South Mercer Street in Greenville, Pennsylvania. I see all of you guys jumping in here. I want to welcome everybody on the Facebook pages. Make sure you hit that like and share button because it's vitally important. For those of you joining on YouTube, God bless all of you and welcome to a beautiful evening where we've got a lot of truth that we are going to uncover, and we're going to have a good time while we are doing it also. And of course, a big hello and a big welcome to all of those joining us on Integrity Television. God bless you. We are excited to have you join and for us to join you with a little unique perspective here of what's going on and have a little fun while we're at it. As you know, my sidekick in the Greg Terry Experience program is Bernard P. Fife, and Barney is up in the house. Barney is right here.
This is what we call the deadly game. I'm in it for keeps.
Oh my, this is what we call the deadly game, and Barney's in it for keeps. So folks, here's what's going on tonight. This is going to be so much fun, I can hardly stand it. There is so much going on, and if you're watching on YouTube tonight, you've already seen the thumbnail where we're going to be talking about something very important that's going to be happening tomorrow. You know it. It's going to be not Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6. It's going to be Biden Putin 1, June 16th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Geneva, Switzerland time. I can't wait. We're going to be looking at some stuff about that tonight. So, want to give big shout outs. God bless you on Integrity Television. God bless you on YouTube. God bless you on Facebook. And we're going to give some shout outs now. Sally Chenault, Pam Bowman checking in from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Linda Watt Giddings, God bless you. Jennifer Grover, God bless you. David Latshaw, Buddy Wilson, Linda Cassio, God bless all of you guys. Paul Kiss is holding down the Canadian-Pennsylvania connection. Amy France, I did get your direct message. Amy France, I will respond to you. I do know some churches around Gilroy, California. Rayfel, I'm looking through the camera and I see you tonight, Rayfel. I see the big smile on your face. God bless you. Rhonda Hodge, Ray Sue Haliga. I think I saw you sometime this morning. Barbara Roth checking in from Florida, coming to PA this weekend. Uh-oh. Folks, we have an awakening sighting. We have an awakening sighting. Let's give a big shout out for the awakening. I think tonight they're over at the home of Seth Nix eating. That's what you do when you do a mission trip. And if you know what I'm talking about, last week had Annie on the program as a guest. She popped her head up talking about where she's going. She's in Oklahoma City right now with her entire team that she is joining there. And they are joining us live tonight. They're going to be encouraged, strengthened, and I'll probably have them rolling in the floor. Vic Marini checking in tonight. I see you there, Rev. Bonnie Beam, God bless you. Bill and Kathy Jones are in the house. This is going to be fantastic. Let's see. Let me just pop that up there. How about the Awakening team is watching? So, folks, make sure you give a big hello to those guys on the Awakening team. They're training now, heading to California, Mexico, Hungary, and Peru. They're going to have some sore rear ends with all those miles, and believe me, I know all about it. David Ruth checking in from the East Bay of California. Folks, we are loading up. Got a great crowd in here on YouTube. Got a great crowd on Facebook. I see all of you guys on Integrity Television. We love you too. As you know, we love all of you. It's going to be an awesome night, but I get pretty famished and thirsty sitting in front of all these hot lights. So we got to have something to drink, and that happens with boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night.
Folks, the beverage of the night tonight. So you guys know I'm on the Scale It Down, meaning those of you that are a part of the program, we are this summer losing weight together. I weigh in every Friday live on the air. So Friday night, you'll be getting the update. So everyone's doing their part, sending me healthy beverages, all that stuff. Everything is good. Tonight I've been sent Voss, whatever this is, sparkling artesian water, unsweetened, lime mint sparkling. Well, I love sparkling water, and for those of you on the Awakening team, you guys better get ready because you're going to drink a lot of sparkling water in Hungary, I promise you. Hey, this has got the fresh seal, and we're going to give this stuff... Hey, I like this bottle. It's good. Woo! That right there is key lime pie healthy in a bottle. Folks, this gets a big cheer, a big hello, a big boom boom daddy. I love this stuff. Woo! Hey, God bless all of you. Beverage of the night. I recommend it highly. Voss lime mint water. Woo! It's good for what else you. God bless all of you guys. You know what it's time for. We've got a lot to cover. Let's roll it. All right, folks, it is going to be a great night. I've got some stuff that's going to educate you, and also it is going to entertain you a little bit as we are looking at what is going on. Larry Gorley, God bless you. Awakening team, enjoy your games and your preparation. Thank you guys for jumping in tonight. God bless all of you. Ann Hockett, I see you. Rick Powers, I see you. Let's get rolling, folks. You talking about something interesting here. Let's talk about COVID for just a few minutes to get started. And as we take a look here, hey, John and Lynn Fireball, I see you guys checking in from Richmond, Virginia. Folks, as we look at a little bit of this COVID stuff that is going on, and I think overall we've done a great job. Everybody here working together to get through this, get it accomplished. But now the big deal is the U.S. is trying to say, which honestly I agree with. Here's my personal opinion. It came from an animal. SARS-2 is a normal virus that has been around forever. In fact, can I tell you something? That's why when you see like the Lysol cans that were made in 2017, and then on it, it says repels SARS-2. And then everybody goes crazy saying it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. SARS-2 virus has been around for 20 years. It just takes different strains and different variants, COVID-19 being one of them. Now, I have researched this. We've been on this for a long time. I believe for sure it came from the bat or wherever it came from, but then it got to the Wuhan lab, and of course, American government, it's a fact, was paying money to get information back on the SARS-2, on the COVID variant. And I personally believe it kind of jumped out of the lab somehow. I do not know how it jumped out of the lab, walked out, flew out, sneezed out. I don't know, but that's what I think. Now, former CDC Director Redfield has come out with a complete analysis of why he believes it did emerge from the lab, and it was just a compromised situation. Was it malicious? Maybe. Was it on purpose? Quite possibly. Came from China. The purpose was, I believe, to kind of mess the economy up, deal with American power economically, push things down. That's just what I think. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but that is what I believe. If you look at this poll here that I added, and this was on AP, this poll here says, how do you think COVID-19 originated? 67.8% of Americans believe it came from a lab link. Now, with that said, U.S. is trying to investigate. Biden administration, State Department, they're tying their hands so nobody can officially declare the truth, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. And the truth is, we are now seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We really are. Things are getting back to quotation normal. How do we know that? Well, California today reopened their economy and lifted all restrictions. I know we have a lot of Californians in here watching tonight. Supposedly, you're back open, and I'm very happy for you because I'll be out there very soon. United States sending Mexico over 1 million vaccines. You know, people start talking about stuff like this too, and they start running conspiracies. Folks, there's no conspiracy. I took the vaccine because I'm trying to get to Africa, trying to get to Tanzania. We've got a lot of ministry going on there, and we need to get there. And in fact, folks, on a side note, we need to remember our dear brothers and sisters in Tanzania. The organization that we are a part of there, and that is a part of us, there was a women's conference scheduled for this past weekend, and there was a bus load of ladies and children going to the event. The bus flipped off the road, and I can tell you it can happen easily on those Tanzanian roads. And 2 of the ladies were killed, and others were hospitalized. A child was killed, and they are a part of our organization. I have met these ladies. Very, very sad event. But we've got a great group there, great organization, and trying to get back there. So yes, I took the vaccine, and when I took it, I talked to the pharmacist who was giving me, and I took the Johnson & Johnson. I don't mind telling you, I'm healthy. Everything's good, happy. And my daughter, that awakening team, they had to be vaccinated to do the missions that they are getting ready to leave and preparing for now. But the pharmacist told me, she goes, this vaccine is very interesting because it has a shelf life. And she told me, you're going to see America giving this stuff away, because once we open a box, it has to be used within 6 hours. So she goes, we may have like 36 vials of vaccine in a box. Once I open the box, that box is open, and it's not contaminated. What's the word I'm looking for there? Not contaminated, but the time is running, the clock is ticking, and in 6 hours, those X amount of vials have to be used on people, or they have to be thrown in the trash. I don't understand it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an epidemiologist, but that's what the pharmacist told me. So she told me, she goes, you're going to see America giving away vaccines, and we are seeing it now. New York lifting most COVID restrictions effective immediately, with 70% of adults in New York having 1 shot already. And here's something interesting that I found. Janice Thomas Bryant, God bless you. Welcome to the program. President Biden, to host a July 4th bash on the White House lawn, and there are over 1,000 people invited. If I remember correctly, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I believe he was saying, if we do a really good job by July 4th, you can have a backyard picnic with a little bit of your family. I think we blew that out of the water. You're inviting 1,000 people to your backyard barbecue. Folks, God bless America. We're getting back to normal, and we praise God for that. We do not downplay what COVID was, what it is, but we're very thankful that we are getting back to normal. And I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. Folks, I'm frustrated about this one right here. Kamala Harris, oh yes, the Speaker of the House, Kamala Harris, she's back at it. She is the first sitting vice president or president, first sitting executive to participate in a Pride March parade. I have a question. I wonder if she would march in a pro-life parade. It's just a question. I'm just wondering. In fact, she made an impromptu speech. I have the quote for you there up on the screen, and I quote, this is what she said: "We need to make sure that our transgender community and our youth are all protected. We need still protections around employment and housing," Harris said. "There is so much more work to do, and I know we are committed." Speaker of the House, Harris, yes, I know she's the vice president, but I gave her the position of Speaker of the House or press secretary, whichever one. Yeah, because Psaki's the vice president. It's the way I see it. Kamala Harris, I think it's more important that you change that quote to bring protection to America. Get on Air Force 1 or 2 or 3, get down to the Texas border and do what you are supposed to do. Folks, I've come up with a phrase that I want to share on the program tonight, and this is what I think is going on in presidential politics right now under the Biden administration, and this is a part of it. Hey, Mark Reimold, welcome to the program. This I'm going to name or label, known from here forward as deflection politics. Deflection politics. That's exactly what I think this is. I think every time that something important comes up for the administration, they find a way to deflect away from it, whether it be the border, whether it be economics, whether it be G7, whatever it may be. We deflect by doing something else. I think we're up to 83 or 84 days as to when she was assigned the border, and she has yet to speak or directly visit that border. It's called deflection politics. How about deflectionary? Am I making up a word there? Deflectionary politics. That is what is going on from the Biden administration. And folks, it is very, very sad. Maybe we can call it this. It is smoke and mirrors. Everything that's happening right now in D.C. is a lot of smoke and mirrors. Folks, I've got some bad news for you. And I've got some good news later too, but Pittsburgh-based Heinz Corporation, I'm not talking about their politics, it's talking about the ketchup. Heinz and Conagra will be raising their prices on some of their products. A couple other headlines here. Food prices will continue to rise in 2021. The bottom, you see their producer prices climbed 6.6% in May on annual basis. Largest 12-month increase on record. Folks, I hate to tell you this, but inflation is coming. You're already seeing it when you go to the gas tank. You're already seeing it when you go to the grocery store, when you go to your home building supply store, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever you go to. You're seeing this already. But let me give you some real facts. Every food item that you purchase in a grocery store has risen between 1.5 and 18%. Every food item has risen in price between 1.5 and 18% in 2021. Some of the food brands that ConAgra has says is going to be raising in prices, and you know some of these, you see them at your store there: Slim Jim, Duncan Hines, Healthy Choice, Hunt's. Well, we like Heinz ketchup better, but Hunt's, Marie Callender's, Ready Whip, Vlasic, Pickles, Birdseye, Pam, Duke's, Orville Redenbacher's popcorn. Jesse Conley. Hey, folks, y'all check this one out. How about this? My prediction is canning will come back. Folks, I was born in 1972. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're exactly right, Ann Hockett. Check that out. And the content is smaller for the greater price. Larry Gorley saying, did I tell you I love my chickens? LOL. I love your chickens too. Oh, man. Here's the deal. These prices are going up. And I see more smoke and mirrors and deflectionary politics on the way. And folks, remember, trickle-down economics. It's basic 101. When prices go up, when taxes go up, it hits you and me in the pocketbook. That is just the way it is. You're going to be paying more for your Orville Redenbacher popcorn. Born in 72, I can remember going in the late 70s, maybe the early 80s. I don't know. I was a little boy. Hey there, Steve. God bless you from Lodi, California, or Galt. Ashley Mahalik, she knows how to can. I remember going with my grandmother to the cannery in Appomattox, Virginia. It was hot as Hades in there, and I would go there as a little boy and run around the cannery, and Granny would be in there canning. Lodi, California. I knew I had it right. God bless you. We're seeing more smoke and mirrors happen. That is what's unfolding. Folks, this is what I've been excited to talk about tonight. Oh, we need one more drum roll on that one. We need one more drum roll on that one. And now in this corner, weighing in at 205 pounds, based in Washington, D.C., President Joseph, I forgot where I'm at, Biden. And now in this corner, coming in from Moscow, Russia, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, the legendary KGB boxing champion of the world. Folks, this is what we are seeing unfold before our eyes right now. I've been working on this one all day. And, you know, the only thing that I'm a little sad about is that these guys got the wrong date. Do you know how I so wish that the summit had been today? Because tonight we would be analyzing it. Well, we're not going to analyze it until Friday night, but tonight I'm going to preview it for you. Tomorrow, President Biden and President Putin will be having a summit. And folks, this is going to be one for the books. This is going to be so interesting because this is like a big chess game going on between America and Russia, and President Biden and President Putin But I'm telling you right now, I think we need another chess player. In fact, it's 8:54, 10 hours. That would get me to Geneva. I would willingly go right now and help President Biden in the summit. I can speak Russian fluently. We do not even need a translator. Будет мой радость. It would be my joy to go there and represent you and represent America and have a chat. President Putin. So tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Geneva, Switzerland time, this event is going to happen. I'm going to give you a little preview about it. Here are some of the things that are going to happen, and I want you to understand it. First of all, the meeting is scheduled for 1 o'clock, and there will be no meal. You say, what are you talking about? Typically, when these leaders meet, and it's historically been a precedent with Donald Trump, with Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, when they met, and Ronald Reagan met with Mikhail Gorbachev during the last years of the Soviet Union. When our presidents met with their presidents, they shared a meal together. Well, tomorrow, there will be no meal. They are not eating together. And I'm just going to tell you something. That's a problem. We need to be praying for this in all seriousness. And I know we like to make jokes and have a good time, but this is really an unfair fight. This is an unfair debate. This is an unfair conversation. This is a master against President Biden, who is ill-prepared. God bless him. He needs Jesus. They're way out of his league. So there will be no meal. So that is number one that is broken. Number two, a couple of the main things they're going to talk about, and you can see there is nuclear stability and military presences around the world. They're going to talk about China. They also have on tap to talk about ransomware and hacking. That, we talked about the Colonial Pipeline just being hacked by Russian hackers, and it shut down a major gas line here in the United States. They're going to be talking about that. President Biden, put out a quote, and I'm quoting there in the blue. I'm meeting with a killer with no soul whose government is paranoid. Let me explain to you what this is like. Okay? I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can. And I bleed red, white, and blue. That is why I want to get on a plane and go chat with President Putin. And tell Biden, take the afternoon off. I'll take care of this for you. I would love to do that. But this guy has no clue what he's getting into. And he makes a quote like this: a killer with no soul whose government is paranoid. Let me put that another way for you. That's not how a president is supposed to talk. There must be honor in the office. It's an honorable position. Now, you lead with power and you lead with stability and strong words and rhetoric when needed. But you do not call another president a killer, even if he is. This reminds me of the late 80s and the early 90s. You say, what are you talking about? The late 80s and the early 90s. This would be like back in the day when Michael Jordan played basketball. And anytime that any player on an opposing team made a statement about him, said something in the media, Michael Jordan would absolutely come out the next game and show that person why He was the greatest basketball player of all time. President Biden, the worst thing you could possibly do, sir, is to make that quote. He is a killer with no soul, whose government is paranoid. I'm sure that Vladimir Putin has clipped that out of the newspaper and he has put it in his locker room. And when he is getting dressed tomorrow, he is going to remind himself of what you said and he's going to call you on it. You better be prepared for an answer. Now, you want something very, very interesting? I've got it right here prepared for you. Joe Biden was just asked, President Biden was just asked about his statements calling Vladimir Putin a killer. I'm going to show you this. Remember, we're prepping tonight. I'm excited. I'm going to find a way to keep updated with this or watch it. It's closed meetings, so there's not much. I don't have a news feed, but I'm going to stay on top of it as much as I can. I just love this stuff. I love America. I love people groups. I love Russia. I love Ukraine. I love the world. I just want everybody to come to know Jesus. So it's so interesting for me what's going to unfold from this. And I see your comments in there. Rick Berry saying Biden doesn't even recognize the great disrespect Putin shows toward him by refusing to eat with him. Biden is chopped liver. Larry Gorley, I believe Biden will make a fool of us. He will? No. I think it is a plan for him to make a fool of us. Then they were moving from his position. Then the next is worse than him. But praise God, God is bigger and better than all of them. That's why we pray for our nation. So, President Biden was asked to speak about his reference to Vladimir Putin being a killer. I want you to watch this. I got about a 1.5-minute clip here. I'm so concerned when he sits down tomorrow with Vladimir. Watch this.
In a weekend interview, Vladimir Putin laughed at the suggestion that you had called him a killer. Is that still your belief, sir, that he is a killer? And I'll continue the trend if you don't mind of asking a second question. Do you believe if he does agree to cooperate, then what kind of a challenge do you find yourself in? How would you ever trust him? And if Ronald Reagan said trust but verify, what do you say to Vladimir Putin?
To answer the first question, I'm laughing too. They actually, well, look, I mean, he has made clear that the answer is, I believe he has in the past essentially acknowledged that he was, there are certain things that he would do or did do. But look, when I was asked that question on air, I answered it honestly. But it's not much of a, I don't think it matters a whole lot in terms of this next meeting we're about to have. The second question was, I'd verify first and then trust. In other words, everything would have to be shown to be actually occurring. It's not about, trusting. It's about agreeing.
I am not going to disrespect the office of the president. I'm still offering to get on the airplane and to meet with President Putin tomorrow. Now, folks, you know me. We've got a great group in here. Facebook, YouTube, you guys are doing awesome. Integrity Television, you're getting to know me. God bless you. I am not a conspiracy theorist, period. I just look for the truth. Somewhere we dig it out. But I'm going to make a little prediction right here. I'm going to make a little prediction. First of all, before I make the prediction, is there a reason that every time they're asked a question, and that would be the office of president, vice president, that they laugh? A, that means you're nervous. B, that means you're afraid. C, that means you don't have an answer. And D, you're trying to think of something to say that sounds halfway intelligent. I understand what's going on. But I'm going to make, this is not conspiracy. This is me. Greg Terry experience. Barney is in complete agreement. Complete.
Nip it in the bud. First sign of youngsters going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud.
Folks, when the question was asked about him being a killer, the first response was, oh, that won't even come up. You have no clue who you're getting ready to talk to. But I'm going to show y'all who he's getting ready to talk to. Secondly, there was a 7 or 8 second pause there. You remember that? No conspiracy theory, but here's what I think. I honestly think it is possible that he has an earpiece in, and when he doesn't know what to say, somebody has to whisper in his ear. It was exactly what we watched unfold. The question came about the killer comment, a nervous laugh, a pause, looking down like I'm listening, and then here was the response. The answer is, I'm not saying that. Don't go out and start spreading that. No, I guess I am spreading it. I'm telling it on my program. That's my program. I honestly believe that's possible. That's exactly what we just saw. But remember, Vladimir Putin, he's not really going to care that I called him a killer. Check this out.
Tonight, in our exclusive interview, President Vladimir Putin tells us he's going into next week's summit with relations with the US at an historic low.
We have a bilateral relationship that has deteriorated to its lowest point in recent years.
The Russian leader last met with an American president in Helsinki in 2018.
Great to be with you.
So how does he compare former President Trump with the 5th American president he's now set to meet? He told us Biden is someone he can work with.
You once described President Trump as a bright person, talented. How would you describe President Biden?
Well, even now, I believe that former U.S. President, Mr. Trump, is an extraordinary individual, talented individual. Otherwise, he would not have become U.S. President. He's a colorful individual. You may like him or not. But he didn't come from the U.S. establishment. He had not been part of big-time politics before. And some like it, some don't like it. But that is a fact. President Biden, of course, is radically different from Trump because President Biden is a career man. He has spent virtually his entire adulthood in politics. Just think of the number of years he spent in the Senate. A different kind of person. And it is my great hope that, yes, there are some advantages, some disadvantages, but there will not be any impulse-based movements on behalf of the sitting U.S. president.
We sat down for a 90-minute interview inside the Kremlin, where I pressed him on accusations he has ordered assassinations of his adversaries.
The late John McCain in Congress called you a killer. When President Trump was told that you are a killer, he didn't deny it. When President Biden was asked whether he believes you are a killer, he said, I do. Mr. President, are you a killer?
Over my tenure, I've gotten used to attacks from all kinds of angles and from all kinds of areas under all kinds of pretext and reasons, and of different caliber and fierceness, and none of it surprises me. So as far as harsh rhetoric, I think that this is an expression of overall U.S. culture. Of course, in Hollywood, there are some underlying deep things in Hollywood, macho, which can be treated as cinematic art, but that is part of U.S. political culture where it's considered normal. By the way, not here. It is not considered normal here.
I don't think I heard you answer the question, the direct question, Mr. President.
I did answer. I'll add if you let me. I've heard dozens of such accusations. especially during the period of some grave events during our counterterrorism efforts in North Caucasus. And when that happens, I'm always guided by the interests of the Russian people and Russian state. And sentiments in terms of who calls somebody whom what kind of labels, this is not something I worry about in the least.
Let me give you some names. Anna Politkovskaya, shot dead. Alexander Litvinenko, poisoned by polonium. Sergei Magnitsky, allegedly beaten and died in prison. Boris Nemtsov, shot moments from the Kremlin, moments from here. Mikhail Lesin died of blunt trauma in Washington, D.C. Are all of these a coincidence, Mr. President?
Look, I don't want to come across as being rude, but this looks like some kind of indigestion, except that it's verbal indigestion. You've mentioned many individuals who indeed suffered and perished at different points in time for various reasons at the hands of different individuals. You mentioned Lesin. Lesin used to work in my administration. I liked him very much. He died, he perished, or died in the United States. I regret to this day that he is not with us. In my opinion, he is a very decent, very good person. And as far as the others, we found some of the criminals who committed those crimes. Some are in prison, and we're prepared to continue to work in this mode.
But today, reports that Russia is offering to supply Iran with satellite technology that would help it target the US military in the region. President Putin denying those claims.
It's just fake news. At the very least, I don't know anything about this kind of thing. So who are speaking about it probably will maybe know more about it. It's just nonsense garbage.
So, folks, there you have it. That is our preview of the summit coming tomorrow. I will tell you a couple of things there. And Len Fireball, through it all, this is the proper comment. President Biden needs our prayers tomorrow and every day. He still is the president of the United States. And even as we are called to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, we pray for our country. With that said, going to be very interesting tomorrow. I want to draw your attention to a couple of things as we close out our preview of Biden Putin number one. Number one, I could hear Vladimir Putin's Russian, and the translator was doing a good job, but there was a couple of things. He was not as aggressive as Vladimir Putin was actually saying. You probably won't remember because you do not know the Russian language, or maybe you're here and you do know the Russian language, but there was 2 or 3 instances there where Vladimir Putin said this. He said, "Послушай меня, послушай меня." Okay, let me translate. They said nothing, the translator. But what Putin was saying to the reporter was, listen to me. Послушай меня, послушай меня. Listen to me. Secondly, you probably remember this during that little interview where Vladimir Putin said, this is nothing but indigestion. Remember that? And it's kind of like a goofy word, indigestion, talking about the rhetoric. That's not what he said. It wasn't indigestion, he said. The translator was translating it to be, I guess, decent. I don't know, but it's the wrong translation. Vladimir Putin was saying, all of this is just puke. This is vomit. Vomit. Big different word than indigestion. Yeah, old man Tup. It never ceases to amaze me when I hear Putin talk. He's smart. His words are deliberate, and his thoughts are well ordered. Yeah, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. And the last thing that you need to know, just so you understand, because I won't be with you again for 72 hours, but tomorrow you'll be checking out the news, what happened with this. Who knows? I may pop in for a special report. No, I got worship tomorrow night. I still may drop a special report video. I'm into this thing right here, as if you cannot tell. The last thing is Biden to hold solo press conference after Putin meeting White House official. Now, many of you are probably thinking, okay, so that means that the press secretary's not going to do it, or Biden's not going to be, prepared or preset for that post-summit interview. That's not what that means at all. It is tradition that when the summit is over between Russia and America, that the two presidents stand side by side and do a follow-up press conference for the media where they ask questions. Maybe they have a few more interactions between each other in front of the media publicly. It's happened with everyone. In fact, you saw the video earlier with President Trump sitting beside Putin. That was public, okay? This one, no. And at the conclusion, they will do solo press conferences because America did not want to do a joint press conference. I wonder why. As many in here have said tonight, let us be praying for our president and this big deal going on tomorrow. North Korean defector, this lady, her name is, what is her name? I've got it written down here. Yeonmi Park. She escaped North Korea in 2007, age 13. She now has grown up and she is going to Columbia University, which is an Ivy League school. She is now starting to get pretty famous with her comments talking about even North Korea was not this nuts after attending an Ivy League school. She went to Columbia University. Defector says college indoctrination worse than North Korean regime, regression in civilization. She comes out as a former North Korean citizen under the dictatorship of Kim Jong-un, his father before him, his grandfather before him, who are vicious. She has said that the indoctrination that is going on in Ivy League schools is worse than what is happening in North Korea. And folks, North Korea is a bad, bad, bad place. I read her articles, I watched her videos, and she talks about how the professors, if they would see her reading some conservative literature or some book that was not completely liberal, they would forbid her at Columbia from reading it. The professors, she said, would come out and say, tomorrow we are discussing this agenda, and if you don't like it, don't come to class. That's what they would tell the students. And she says they were constantly under the pressure of being just progressively indoctrinated. Folks, this is what is happening not only in our Ivy League schools, but it's happening in our universities. It's happening in our high schools. It's happening in our elementary schools. Now, praise God, we have a lot of wonderful teachers who are not doing that. But especially on the university level, this is happening at a very high level. One of the things that is causing is internal problems within our country. It then moves to the Christian world. It really does. It moves to the church world. It moves into areas that we don't even understand. And tonight, in the last part of our program, I want to talk about what stuff like this does, what propaganda does, what indoctrination. She made the statement here, and she must be brilliant, that the American status right now is a regression in civilization, meaning we are going backwards. And that's coming from a North Korean escapee who knows all the stories of her mother and her grandmother, as she talks about in her interviews, and even her days there, she remembers very well. So what happens? This is what happens next. Look at here. U.S. decline of Christianity continues at a rapid pace. I wonder why. It's not because there are a lot of good churches that are out there preaching the gospel and trying, but we are having to combat so many times so much indoctrination and liberalism that is happening in our schools and universities that it seems like we're fighting an uphill battle. I'm going to speak about that in a moment. Tony Evans, you see there on the right, calls for Christian unity amid racial tensions in the church. Evangelical leaders says The church needs unity more than anything else in 2021. These things cause an effect begin to unfold. Liberal agendas, it begins to affect all stratas of society. Now, praise be to God, when things like this happen, there are some wonderful people who begin to respond. And you and I need to be some of those wonderful people who are responding. Florida Governor DeSantis signed a bill today requiring a moment of silence, which is a minimum, listen, of 60 seconds, 1 minute for school prayer. First period in Florida schools, there will be a requirement for a moment of silence, at least 1 minute long. He left it up to school administrations that it could even be longer if they choose. But in the state of Florida, there will be a moment of silence for prayer at the beginning of the school day in all public schools. Come on, Ron DeSantis. I remember growing up in Norfolk, Virginia. I was going to elementary school at the very end of desegregation, and you're sitting there going, PG, you're that old? Yes, I'm that old. I was going to elementary school at R.A. Tucker Elementary School. I lived in the Norview district, and I should have been going to Norview Elementary, but I was bused to Berkeley, Compostela, across the bridge, and basically what you had was like middle class white neighborhood, and then you had low income. It was not just black, but it was African American, it was whites, it was other foreign people groups, but they were lower income. And what was happening in desegregation was this was a forced issue. We had no choices. 50% of the students who should have went to my elementary school were bused to the other district, and 50% of those students were bused to our district. I was part of the 50% that got on a bus every morning, and I rode the bus a long way to get to the other school district. And when I would go into school, our school was literally 50% white and 50% black. And I want you to know something. We had no clue. We didn't see color. In fact, my best friend in elementary school, we played trumpet together. The third grade. His name was Lazard Hawkins. I'll never forget him. My favorite school teacher was Miss Golson, my black second grade teacher. We didn't see color. We didn't see anything. We just saw people. Now, here's the beauty about it. Our principal was an Assembly of God preacher. And every morning, he would come on. It'd be the first moment of the day. The intercom system there in the late 70s or early 80s, would come on and, good morning. This is Principal Adams. All students, stand beside your desk. Put your hand over your heart. Look toward the flag that is to the left of your chalkboard. We will be playing the national anthem. The national anthem would play. And after that, he would say, we now will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. We would recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody did. Then after that, our principal would say, now students, bow your head. I'm going to pray for you, for your families, for your school day, for your education. And that principal would pray over the intercom, over our class, over our school every day. Folks, I want you to know something. We didn't have fights. It was a really good school. We were just wonderful. It's some of the best memories that I ever have. I see some of that happening now in what Governor DeSantis is doing. And if you want to fight progressive culture, if you want to think about the North Korean lady who says, hey, these Ivy League schools are worse than North Korea, the way to battle it and to fight it is with good leaders like Governor DeSantis, who is going to stand up for what is right. So for you, Governor DeSantis, big cheers and big thank yous. Folks, I'm working on something for the Friday night program, and you do not want to miss it. Oh, did I give Governor DeSantis a cheer? Boom! Governor DeSantis, you get a big cheer. And Barbara Roth, I see you popping them hands up, Miss Florida. You got that right. Oh, we got the heart now as well. Love it. Yep. God bless Florida. God bless Governor DeSantis. Thank you again, guys, for being a part of the program tonight. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, those of you with Integrity Television, what an awesome night. Got one more thing I'm going to share with you, but I want you to be prepared because I'm working on something right now that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that I think is vital. When we take a look at what is going on, whether it be on the international stage, and I spent quite a bit of time tonight talking about Biden and Putin and the summit, the things that are going on internationally. And we talked a little bit about what is happening in our liberal schools. And we looked at the example of the North Korean student who said, hey, be careful what's going on. And we're well aware of that. But then we bring it right back around to a good story with Governor DeSantis saying, we're praying. That first minute or longer, you will be praying. Wonderful things. Now, for the church. I want you to think about the church for a moment. Where do we go from here? How do we face what is going on in our country and in our world? How do we become that light shining in darkness? How do we become the salt of the earth? Even when I go back and look at some of these headlines here, U.S. decline of Christianity continues at a rapid pace. What do we do? What is missing? Well, I've come up with a theory. This may challenge some of you guys, but I'm pulling together some research on this. And I believe that I potentially have found what it's going to take. I have traveled in over 30 nations in the last 26 years, 27 years. I'm not too bad at Spanish, very good at Russian. English, got it down, and I'm a redneck master. I'm multilingual. I've experienced many different cultures. And Ann Homer, I really appreciate your comment there. Walk as Jesus walked. That's right. But Ann, you lead me in perfectly. Guys, do not miss Friday night. I'm going to be talking about persecution. You say, oh man, I don't want to come watch a show on persecution. I think you do. I'm not saying somebody's coming to your house and put you in handcuffs. No. But there's something that America is missing. The church is so fragmented and so divided. You know, it reminds me, and I want to show you this scripture here, and then you guys get ready. Friday night is going to be something special. Acts chapter 8 talks about persecution that rose against the church. On Friday night, we're going to be jumping into this passage. I'm working on a video from this ministry that I'm going to be showing you about the statistics of persecution that is going on around the world. And I believe that God is going to speak to us, to you, to me, to those that are watching, about the reality of what it's going to take to experience the end time revival and walk in the fullness of everything that God has for us. You do not want to miss that. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. Folks, this has been an awesome night. We've covered many topics. Those on Integrity Television, we love you. God bless you. On Facebook, you guys rock. YouTube family, you guys are smoking it over there. What an awesome night. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious towards you, and may you walk in more peace than you can possibly handle. God is good, and the best is yet to come. Have a good update for you on Putin Biden 1, and on Friday, you guys get ready. You're going to get blown away about some persecution and the goodness that's going to come to the church in Jesus' name. God bless you. We love you. We gone.